Hello everyone and welcome again to this series of the Codility algorithm solutions. In this video we will solve the second Codility lesson, the cyclic rotation. You can find the detailed problem description on the Codility website. Here we will see the solution with two different algorithms. One is the brute force method and the second uses a cyclic formula for less complexity. And then I will show you the better algorithm in two different languages, C++ and Python. So stay tuned. So what is the array rotation about? First of all, you have a function that takes two parameters, a number k and an array. Here we called it a. Then the function will push numbers in the array from left to right, changing their positions. For example, if we have this array, at first the numbers are displaced by one position to the right, and the last element, the number 6, is brought back to the beginning of the array, and this is one cycle. The number k defines how many cycles we should perform. For example, after the first cycle, we have this form here, and then the second cycle, we obtain this result, and so on. We continue for as many k as we should. Notice the movements of the elements within the array across the different cycles. Here, for example, we are seeing two consecutive cycles for k equal 1 and k equal 2. So there is a brute solution where for each value of k, we will displace all the elements of the array, taking into account that the last element should be brought back to the beginning of the array for each cycle. But this means that we are repeating the displacement of the whole array k times. A better way of doing this would be to have something less complex, a less complex algorithm, which means less computing power and faster results. Something that is not neglected during coding interviews, especially if you are going through a Codility test. Notice, for example, here how the index of each number is changing. Let's take the number 3 and the number 6 as an example. Number 3 moved k spots to the right, so its index was incremented by the value k. And number 6 had an array index of 4, and now it's at position index number 2, which means that it went from 4 to 4 plus k modulus the size of the array A, which in this case gives us 2. So this is the formula that would allow me to move numbers of the array in a cyclic rotation. So every element index is changing as its old index plus the k value modulus the size of the array. The modulus part makes sure that whenever you increment an index, if it exceeds the size of the array, the corresponding element is brought back to the beginning of the array to continue moving incrementing index. And the algorithm can be coded like the following. For each element of A, you modify its index to the final cyclic position. We will see this in detail in Python and C++ in a moment, but it's important to notice here that the improvement versus the brute solution is very clear. In the brute solution, the array is visited k times with all its included elements. However, in the improved solution, we are visiting each element only once. In other words, we are reading the array one single time, which is theoretically almost k times faster than the brute solution. Okay, let's see how this is written in C++ first. The function is presented as follows. We have its name here, solution, and it takes two parameters, the vector a and an integer k. And it should return a vector of integers on which we have applied k rotations. So we will start by defining a new vector b of the same size of a, where we will save our results. And this is done here in the first line of the function. We have to do so because in the process of moving elements within the vector a, we might erase some values that we would need later on. So the easiest solution for this is to keep our vector a unmodified and write our results in another vector b of the same size. So I will loop over all the elements of vector a in this for loop, and you can notice the same formula here for the index of the vector b. We explained this in the algorithm. It's the index of the visited element plus k, the value with which I want to increment the index, modulus a.size. the size of the vector A, because I don't want my index to exceed the size of the vector. So all of this will be equal to the value of A brackets I in this case. Then when I finish my loop, I could simply return the vector B. So this is it actually. This is the solution in C++, and it's the fastest algorithm that you could use for this problem. So let's switch to Python. In Python, we are provided the solution function that takes two parameters, the array A and K, the integer. I will store the length of A in a variable called n equal length of A, and I will create an empty vector B, an empty list of the same size of A. I'm using the size of A here, which is n. I could have done it also using this way, like copying the vector A in the vector B, and then modifying the content of the vector B. It works either ways. Then we use a for loop to change the index variable I between 0 and the length of A. Just if it's your first time using this function, bear in mind that n, the value n, is excluded. So in fact, we are looping from 0 to n minus 1 included. And inside my loop, I will do just like we've done in the algorithm and the C++ solution, the index of the visited element plus k modulus n, the size of A, and this will be the new position of the element AI, which I will be storing in my vector B. Then when all of this is done, I will return the result, which is the vector B. That's it for now. If you found this content helpful, please don't forget to support by subscribing and stay tuned for more.